I now have our next speaker with us, who is an educationist for 30 years. For her, teaching is a passion. She has been a recipient of several state, national, and international awards. No wonder that made her travel extensively in India and overseas. She has also been made her travel extensive in India and overseas. She has also and many regional channels, TV channels as an educationist and woman achiever. Her contributions have found place in various reputed journals and newspapers. No surprise, she is the one of the most valuable personality for many CBSE workshops. To add, Ma'am is the founder principal of Delhi Public School Bangalore East and is a postgraduate in education and psychology, a qualified special educator who is currently a PhD research scholar with Annamalai University and has submitted her thesis titled The Effect of Academic Adjustment and Parental Pressure on the Mental Health of Senior Secondary Students. I'm extremely happy to welcome none other than Mrs. Manila Carvalho, ma'am, who will be sharing her insights on integration of values in student learning. Over to you, Manila Carvalho, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you very much. And good afternoon and warm welcome to all the participants for today's workshop on integration of values in student learning. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide and let us look at the agenda. What we are going to learn from this session today, we will know what are values, to understand the concept of value education, importance of value education, and roadmap for promoting value education. Now, to begin with, we will now watch a video to understand the importance of having value education sessions in our school or in our classrooms right from younger age. ISKCON Pune has produced this particular video. Thanks to them for the marvelous production. Here we go. So dear participants, it is not that we are not aware of the incidents that were shown in this video. We get to see on TV, in programs like Crime Patrol or CID, etc. We get to read in the newspapers, sometimes happening in our own neighborhood or at times in our own homes. But what are we doing to stop such incidents is the question. Are we going to be mere spectators? Imparting values is not only the responsibility of the parents, but ours as well as educators. There is heavy onus on us as teachers, for children do spend the most fruitful hours of the day with us. It is easy for us as teachers to imbibe these good values in children. As teachers, we need not hunt for audience. For the political rallies, people, send vehicles, buses to get audience. But for school children, children are easily available with us at any time. But are we consciously trying to build up a value system in them? I leave this question for you all to ponder. Let's move on to the next slide and see our core values that each one of us as teachers must possess. Integrity. It is the practice of being honest and showing consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. As teachers, what percentage of integrity do we possess in terms of discharging my duty as a teacher? Only if you possess this quality of being honest, you can bring about honesty among your children. Inculcating honesty cannot be brought in the children overnight. Through our actions and through our processes, this moral character can be brought in all the institutions. No institution nor the individual must compromise on this character. To give you an example, I happened to visit a school and I saw one boy, Gandhiji's picture, which is put up there, and in front of him, they kept one box, and in that they put few pencils, erasers, and sharpeners, and they've just written to the children, whenever you want to purchase this, please come and drop the amount. They've written ₹5 there. Please drop in the coin and collect whatever you require. Believe me, there are no adult supervision. It is called honesty shop. And children, during their break time, whenever they record in the morning or leaving the school before leaving the school in the evening, if they want this stationery item, they come to the particular box, drop in the money, whatever has been mentioned there, and collect. So this school has started something called honesty shop to inculcate this value of honesty right from the lower classes. Very, very appreciative about this school. Agility, being flexible, being agile, being elastic, and facilitating collaboration. How flexible are you in terms of adjusting with your fellow colleagues? How adjusting are you to meet the needs of your home? Being accommodative is the biggest virtue one can have. Do not be always stiff. See the situation, be agile, be flexible, and facilitate for the work to happen. Be a team player and take the team along. Expertise. As a teacher, show your expertise in the knowledge and the skill, the subject matter that you handle. How much prepared are you to handle the new generation learners? In the previous session, ma'am was just discussing about NEP, so many changes that are happening. Am I ready to handle the changes that are suggested by NEP? Are you doing your homework as a teacher and preparing yourself well for the class? Sometimes you get to hear, no, I have about experience of 10, 12 years. I need not prepare my lessons at all. You may not be running short of the content knowledge, but the type of children that you're handling day and out, every year keep changing. So you need to develop that kind of a skill to manage those children. We are not talking about the content knowledge. Content knowledge also these days, click of a button, children get enormous amount of knowledge. So there is no dearth for knowledge. But what is required? Teacher has a facilitator, a human being who touches the life of every individual. That kind of a teacher is required. When did we last sharpen our axe? I'm remembering a story here. Let me narrate this story for you all. Now, John, he was a woodcutter and he worked for a company for 5 years, but he never got a raise in his salary. So the company hired Bill, yet another woodcutter, and every year he was getting the praise. So John was feeling very disappointed, had resented for Bill's raise, and he went to his boss to talk about it. And the boss said, "You are still cutting the same number of trees you are cutting 5 years ago. We are all result-oriented company and would be happy if you can increase the number of trees that you are cutting and increase the product, and thus the productivity goes up." John went back. He started hitting the tree harder and harder, putting in long hours. But still, he was not able to cut more trees. He went back to his boss and told him about this problem. And the boss told, "I think, John, you need to talk to Bill. Maybe there is something Bill knows that you and I do not know." John went to Bill and asked him how he was managing to cut more trees. Bill answered, "After every tree I cut, I take some break and I, for about a minute or two, and then sharpen my axe." When was the last time you sharpened your axe? Now, let us ask these questions to ourselves. To meet the value of expertise, when did we, as teachers, last sharpen our axes? Have you added qualification and upgraded yourself, or happily sitting on B.Ed qualification, which you have completed years back, and say, "I'm a qualified teacher," and that is enough? Where is the value system in you if you do not regularly upgrade yourself in terms of accumulating knowledge for yourself? Ingenuity, value of being resourceful, original, creative, imaginative, etc. Now, do you provide solutions to the children when they come to you for any clarification? Or are you being focused in what you're doing as a teacher? With what mindset I'm discharging my duty as a teacher in the school? Anyways, I'm a permanent staff. What is there in the book? I will just translate whatever is there in the book and teach them. Nothing beyond that. This is the mindset of some teachers. Dear teachers, you are someone who is going to shape the destiny of the children who are under your care. You have seen the video. I'm sure it has had some kind of an impact on your mind. Do recollect that video now and then. You can give your best to your children. Go beyond your call. Do not take shortcuts to complete your task. Ignite the spark among the children to think out of the box. Tenacity, responsiveness with high degree of determination. How much sensitive we are to the needs of the students. There are different types of learners in the class, and we are supposed to make our teaching learning strategies inclusive to cater to the needs of different style of learners. Our willpower, our determination make us walk that extra mile to bring about a change in the student with whom we've, especially those children with whom we find aggressiveness or disobedient or being irregular to studies or being, not very presentable and so on. Yes, values are firm beliefs and ideas held by a person which determine his or her thoughts and actions. That means a person who upholds values will have positive beliefs and is ethically right. Values are guiding principles which provide a basis for individual choices in life. That means to say that values are like foundation on which the individual makes choices of his or her life. All right. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next one. I have a question for you here. What is the value I stand for? Can you please come on the chat box and write to me, what is the value that you stand for as an individual? It is I means it is individually you. What is the value that I stand for? So can you come up in the chat box? Yes. Divya is saying integrity. Yes. Chakilam is saying I have to develop my empathy. Very good. Janaki is saying honesty. Padma Priya is saying compassion. Sabrina is saying integrity. Anjali is saying empathy. Tabasum honesty. Sri Lekha intelligence. Yes. Mindfulness. Suguna says. Yes. Any more responses? Kindness and sincerity. Professional development. Emotional touch. Insightfulness. Sincerity, honesty, empathy, kindness, openness. Thank you so much for your responses. You are fabulous. And thank you for sharing your thoughts again. Now we look at the next slide and understand the value that I stand for. In addition to what all you have said here, please note extra, additional values here. Respect. Respecting other people and nature around us. Inclusive, embracing everyone to our school and celebrating diversity. Empathy, being understanding and helping each other. Excellence, doing best and putting my best foot forward or putting my heart and soul into it. Safety, protecting others as well as ourselves. Perseverance, living with never to give up attitude. Courage, be ready to take risk, learn to face the challenges. Resilience, bounce back. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Never give up for any situation. You are fallen, try to stand again and face the situation. Are you all with me? Can I see your reaction? Yes, no, yes, no? Yes. Yeah, what we are discussing is what is happening in our current situation, in the current scenario, in the presence. Okay, now let us see here in the next question here. One more question I have got for you. What is education? Can you please come up in the chat box again? What is education? We finished what is value. Now you tell me what is education for you. According to you, what is this? Overall development, Suguna says. Modification of behavior, Anjali says. Any other response? Holistic development, Bhavana says. Shilpa says holistic development. Overall development, Sangeeta says. Janaki says being human, bringing best in oneself, Haimati says. And Divya Sunil says learning for life, yes. Pramya says knowledge, yes. Overall development, skill of life, holistic development, understanding what is being learned, knowledge development, enlightenment. Thank you so much once again for your responses. And let us see in the slide here what Nelson Mandela has got to say for us. Okay. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. So whatever changes we want to bring in about in the society could be possible only through education, for it drives away ignorance, it brings about thought processes that is good for the humankind as well as for the economic growth of the society. Now let us have a look at the definition here in the next slide where, C.V. Good says here, value education is the aggregate of all the processes by means of which a person develops abilities, attitudes, and other forms of behavior of the positive values in the society in which he lives. Let's see another definition by NCERT. Let us see what they got to say here. Every nature of value education implies empowering the students with certain attitudes and skills, as well as giving them the critical ability to use them in the contemporary everyday world full of myriad challenges. So contemporary world means the present world with a lot of challenges. So education should help us to face those challenges. Let's go on to the next slide and look at characteristics of value education. Collective identity. This characteristic of value education helps us in respecting each other's culture, religion, and beliefs that we follow and promote oneness and mutual respect. And how this is done in schools? By celebrating festivals of different religion, by bringing in multilingualism, or organizing team activities and so on. Critical thinking stimulates creative and systematic analysis to identify the different perspective and angles of a problem. And how will you do this? Give situation or task to the children and guide them to come out with solution. For example, maybe you can talk about waste segregation in the classroom, which is not happening. And how do we make it happen? Let the children think critically and come out with the solution. They may come out saying, let's keep dustbins, ma'am, of different, colors, and write on that, this is for dry waste, this is for wet waste, and this is for, plastics. So make the children aware and tell them to follow the similar pattern back home. Collaboration. This characteristics promotes collaboration to find global solutions to the problems and defend the collective good. For example, we can give group project to the children on water crisis, maybe, which is a global problem, and let them work on groups and present collaboratively their work, how they can save water. Social skills, yet another characteristics which encourages sympathy, communication skills, teamwork, interaction with the different people. For example, we can organize maybe a fund collection drive to support the orphanage. In this process, children will develop, all these skills. Though this is a one activity, so many skills are, developed through this one activity. During pandemic, children have gone out of the way and done a lot of work, for a society. Your own school children, you are aware of that. You have seen this in our, neighborhood happening. Do publish this through your social media site that you have it for your school. Let the other children also know about it. Let the other schools also know about it. Do appreciate and encourage these children. Global vision. Value education helps in deepening the knowledge of the world problems and of values such as justice, equality, and dignity. And how do we do this? Through organizing maybe exchange programs. Now, physically it is not possible, but at least virtually you can definitely do. Organizing maybe Model United Nations in school and so on. Or you can have TEDx youth talks in school. Yes? Yeah. Do you all agree with me? When whatever I'm discussing, do you all agree with me, whatever I've said here? Yes, no, yes, no. Can I have your responses? Because I cannot see you and interacting with you, with everybody. This is the only way I can make out that, it's a lunch time, but you are still with me. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's move on to the next slide and see, why do we need value education? Now, this slide is a self-explanatory. Look at the pictures there. Now, value education develops responsibility, sincerity, cooperation, respect, scientific temperament, sensitivity, and tolerance. What do we do as teachers during value education period? Most of us prefer to complete our syllabus rather than utilizing this period for building values. We give least importance for this period. Do not restrict to impart values only during this value education period. Integrate with your other subjects. Narrate value-based stories which are so very effective with your topic, either while introducing the chapter or at the end of the chapter when you're doing the recapitulation, or somewhere in the middle of the chapter, somewhere when you're connecting it. It is good, and this could be done between, different time of the period. And stories are something which are attracting the children or not. Do plan yourself accordingly. Let's move on to the next slide now. The purpose of value education. Let us look at this slide. It promotes all-round personality development. It inculcates patriotic spirit. It promotes curiosity, helps in making good sound decision, facilitates democratic way of thinking, and develop mutual respect for culture and religion. Let us see another interesting slide here to make our mood lighter. On to the next slide and look at this here. It says, if you want others to learn some values in life, a better way is to teach them, but the best way is to live those values by yourself. So if your value foundation is not strong, you will fly away and fall apart like those two characters in the slide. And you'll remain strong if the values are firmly embedded in you. Let's look at the circle of influence in the next slide. Values are like seeds, that they sprout, become sapling, and grow into trees and spread their branches all around. Okay, it is said there's a saying, when the plant is small, you can bend the way you want. When the plant becomes big, you cannot bend the branches that they want. You may have to break them, you have to cut them. So building up value system starts with the individual at home. And then building up the value system moves to the family, community, spreading through the structures, the school and the institutions of the nation, and then ultimately embracing the planet as a whole. So building values goes in cycle. Move on to the next slide. Let us look at the block tree. Many of you must be familiar with this. Now, I want you all to identify yourself with one of the numbers. You can see the numbers there, with one of the numbers in the figure. Okay. Now, you need to reflect. What you need to reflect is, in providing value education to the children, where do you stand? Let's quickly look at, where are you? Which number are you at? By providing value education to your children, which number are you at? Are you at number 20, who feels happy saying, I have achieved the target in imbibing value education in children? Are you at number 5, feeling that I will relax, let the value building system take its own course? Anyways, so many other teachers are there, let them do. Are you at number 15, 16, 17, where you take everyone along to nurture your values? Are you at number 13, totally confused and does not know how to go about instilling values? Are you at number 2 and 3, support each other in value building? Are you at number 8, just shutting yourself and showing your back for all the value systems? Dear participants, I'm happy many of you have chosen, 2, 15, 16, 17, or, some of the values which are directly connected to you, which you are imparting to the children. Ask yourself, analyze your position in this process of value education inculcation among children. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. There's a question here. Now you're going to come up again in the chat box and tell me, how do you think children pick up different values? How do you think children pick up different values? Can you put it in the chat box? Yeah, by copying us from adults, by observing through experience, by role modeling, by portraying, by observing, listening and practicing. Very good responses, real life examples, seeing others through environment from elders, observing. Yes, many of you have spoken about by listening what we do, and they want to do the same thing by observing. Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your responses. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one. And look at this picture here. Beautiful depiction through the pictures. How do you think children pick up different values? There are different ways. Many of you have said by observing. Many of you have said by role modeling. Many of you said by listening and seeing what others are doing. By interacting with the situation. By incidents. Yes. Now, I have a video for you. And I would like you all to watch this video to strengthen your belief that values are learned through observation. Have a look at the video. So this video is apt for the proverb saying, reap as you sow. And if you have not nurtured the seedling well, the fruit will be of poor quality, which will not come for any use. So let us be careful as parents, as teachers, as role models to project the right path to the children. We as teachers are like actors on stage. All the time children are looking at us. It is not only the children, it even the parents. We are watched throughout. Most of us are on Facebook. What type of pictures do I post there? Do the pictures degrade me as a teacher or get me a fame? The clothes that I wear, do I look dignified as a teacher? Avoid having your children or your students who are schooling with you on Facebook as your friends. Dear teachers, you cannot have your school children who are currently with you as friends on Facebook. You can have your own school Facebook, but the other external Facebook, please do not join. Children cannot be your friends. You have to build up a rapport like a friend in the school. That is definitely there. But on social media, let the children not know your personal life, where you're going, what you're doing, and what is happening. Maintain distance, for you need to behave in a matured manner and be a role model. Children love to imitate. You have seen the video. Let them imitate the good values from you. Let's move on to the next slide and see children and values. Yeah. Can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. Children need not learn the definition by heart. I have given you two definitions initially. That is because we're all adults, we know. But for the children, don't tell them you have to learn the value definition by heart. Let them learn the meaning of the term and why do we insist on imbibing them. Let the children analyze and see how value system helps in enhancing their intellectual ability as well as their social and emotional well-being. Tell the children that they need to imbibe values, for it is impacting their attitude and behavior. Values help them to hold on when they find no way out for their disturbed life. We get to hear a lot of adolescents committing suicide these days. These are the young adolescents who are, at home, they have no dearth for things or facilities. Even in the upper middle class, lower middle class, every segment we are seeing children these days, adolescents are so disturbed. A lot of children are under, mental stress. Anxiety levels are very, very high. Every time, when I get to hear the sad news about any adolescent commits suicide, I always feel maybe we as teachers failed to reach out to these children. Dear teachers, especially now during this pandemic time, children are not getting time to, share their feelings with the others face to face. Since 1.5 years, they're just away. Reach out to these children, observe them in the classroom. Beyond your call, you go, make a call in the evening to a child and just have a chat to find out his temperament back home. And if you're doing it willingly, I'm sure you're able to find many such children who may require your help. Somebody mentioning here, Pratima says, we teachers are role models for our children, students, so we need to watch out our words in action. Very well said, Pratima. In the staff room, in the classroom, when we are meeting our colleagues in the corridors, what is the reaction that we have? Are we exchanging pleasantries or looking away from each other and moving? The conflicts that we have with the fellow teachers in the school, matters a lot. Let's move on to the next one and have a look at value cards. Just to develop interest in children, you can introduce such cards and ask the children to take up tasks accordingly. Have a chart in the classroom and give points if they're done any good deed as per the card, they have chosen. once in a fortnight or once a week, rotate these cards. It is just to have an activity. Maybe the lower class children will have, at least up to 5th, 6th standard, they will definitely enjoy. Senior classes come out with the different innovative ideas. How you can do, bring out a lot of role plays. Show videos. Please don't show videos which I have shown you now, because they're not meant for children. They're meant for adults. It is okay if you show it for 10th, 11th, 12th, because they're grown-ups. But prepare them well before you, show any videos. For the children, a lot of story-based, lot of videos are available. Show them, through them, children learn a lot. There are good movies which speak about values. Show them there is nothing wrong. Next one, we'll move on to the next one and see value-based goal setting.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You need to choose, yeah.
Ma'am, how do we add this value class on online classes? A bit elaboration on it.
Yeah, now at the moment, value cards, you can just give them a topic. See, these cards you usually give in hand, hard copies. You can give the picture of the children and tell them topics you give and tell them choose one. And whatever deed you have done, they can make, like how you develop a profile building. Like that also they can do it. Okay, this is what I did. This is, helping my mother at home, for example. Okay, the child can take, helping mother at home. So how did he help the mother? Maybe doing his own bed in the morning, maybe putting his things in right manner, or maybe in the kitchen, maybe peeling of the onions or something like that. Right. Any good deed, or taking his pet for a walk that evening, or maybe washing his own plate that day. So you can give examples like this to the children and make them understand how to go about. Any activity that you do, you must give some guidelines to the children. So they're very small, easy for them to understand and take it forward. And whatever children have done, you must always project it to the other children so they get an idea. So many a times we don't get our own ideas. When you see somebody's, you get idea and develop on that. So it could be done accordingly.
Right, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, look, now the last slide here, value-based goal setting. Now you need to choose a value that you want to make your goal. Every time when you have, sometimes some schools, we have a separate period for value education. Otherwise, you need not have, you can integrate values in your regular teaching period itself, or you can convert it as a life skill class. Now, to give you an example, now you want to take up kindness, kindness as a goal for your class. Okay. So you have to organize the activity in such a manner that brings about kindness as a value to imbibe. So you need to put up, whatever kindness the children have shown in the class. Maybe it helped a weaker child in the class, to complete the work, or it could be a child who is sick, taken into the medical room, or maybe helping the child teacher to clean up the board, or in the morning he came and arranged the desk in the classroom, or maybe the dustbin is full. Either he go and empties it, or he calls the amma to come and clear it. Or small deeds of kindness, whatever he has done to the child. Or maybe somebody sharing the food with the others, or somebody has not carried a pencil, so you share the pencil with the others. So anything. So put a small branch in the corner, branch of a tree, a dry tree, put it in the corner of your class and ask the children to write their deed of kindness that they have done. And tell them, not necessarily in the school, even whatever you've done in the home also, you give a small piece of paper and tell them, okay, just put it on the branch of the tree, and let the children write whatever they have done and paste it. And by pasting, let them read what the other children have also written. So they'll get an idea, oh, the child has done like this, okay, let me also do like this. So this is how you're bringing collaboration in learning and making the children interesting to do their deed of kindness. And monitor the involvement of the student. Find out who are those who are not doing, and don't tell loudly, okay, you have not done. Call the child separately and have a one-to-one discussion. Find what is the reason the child is not doing. You may have some children who are not at all participating in the activity. So you need to focus more on them, find out who are they, and encourage them. And once or twice, if you encourage them, then they fall in place and regularly they will do. So monitoring by teacher is very, very important, and appreciate them for the participation. Now in your regular online classes, instead of keeping a tree, you can have your Slido activity, you can have a Mentimeter activity, where children can paste the good deed, whatever they have done, that you can come up with. So ensure your target is achieved, because you're going to bring out the goal of getting into kindness here. So every week you can repeat, or once in 15 days, and change the activity once a fortnight. So children also will develop, okay, this interest. Okay, with that, I think I have come to the end of my session. I'll keep the floor open in case you have any questions. Any questions?
Participants, if you have any questions, you can ask. Stage is open.
They must be hungry now because you already reached 1:15. Any questions or anything that you would like to share? Any your thoughts?
Pratima ma'am. Yes, Pratima ma'am.
Yeah, Pratik.
Namaskar, ma'am. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
I'm from DPS Vasant Kunj, New
Yeah,
Delhi.
tell me.
Acha, this my question. Like, first of all, I'm a fan of yours. I've attended last year's sessions of yours also. What's your take on like? Since I've been teaching for about 30 plus years now, my students have grown up and become mature adults, like in various professions, like they are doctors, engineers, and they want to connect with us on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. So, what's your take on that? Should we accept their
See,
friend?
definitely, if the children are moved away from your school, do accept them because that
Okay.
connected. When they're schooling with you, when they're
Yes,
there with you in
yes.
the school,
This was
that
exactly
time you
the
cannot
point.
be your friend. That is the difference. So
Correct.
once they moved out of your campus, no problem. Let them connect with you because they're growing. They will know.
Yeah.
But as long
And
as
they
they
are,
are there in your school, because
yeah,
what happens is we must always, this is a different commanding respect and demanding respect. The Facebook is a place where we upload so many, and if your friends are tagged to that, they can see everybody's. So
there
why
are so
children
many
should know
settings.
about your
Yes,
personal life?
yes,
No,
correct.
that is
Exactly.
where
I
we need to
agree.
restrict.
We have to
Once
draw a
they've
line
moved
from
out, okay, ma'am, you have more responsibility because now the children, your students have grown big. They have their own families.
Yeah,
But
they
these
take pride.
people, yeah, but these people are so engrossed in their work, they hardly give importance to their children. You must conduct a workshop for them and tell them you need to spend, because these days, parents, the young generation parents, they are so busy, they do not have time for the children. Sorry to say,
Yeah.
in Bangalore, it's we have IT industry here, and
Yes.
most of them are IT people who are working throughout. And of course, their working is also required because they need to grow in their stature. But at the same time, they must realize they have a family, they have children, they must have time for kids. Very important. If you do not nurture them right from younger age, and if you leave them loose, then when you become big, you try to discipline them, they will not listen.
And
So when you're
they have
small,
the sense, yeah. They
yeah, when
can
you're small,
demarcate the difference, yeah, correct. They
yeah,
have the
because
decision power.
yes, generally value education means we misunderstand and say it is more of spiritual or saying prayers, but
Very
it
true.
isn't like that. It isn't like that's why I spoke about so many different type of values which are required.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever we, even for the children, I think as adults, as parents, we must introduce God to the children right from young age. Don't force them to say prayers for hours together. Just bring them maybe, prayer as soon as you get up in the morning, maybe a minute or two, or during the lunch break, or before going to bed, thanking God for giving a good day. Small. If you start this habit right from younger age, from the time the child gets into, goes to school, children will imbibe this. It becomes the part and parcel of the life. So as they grow big, children will not go in the wrong direction if they are attached to God.
Yeah,
They
we
will
will
not
develop
take any
their
wrong
sense.
path.
They will soon develop the sense of choosing between the right and wrong.
Right and the wrong. Very true, very true.
So
Because
we are
every
having
religion
the homeroom
speaks
period.
about goodness. No religion speaks to do anything bad.
Yeah.
So everybody
Yes.
speaks about. So what happened? Children are channelized in that direction. So what happened? We are so busy in our work, we do not have time to see whether my child has come home in time or not. We do not have time to see which social network site child is going through, or the friends my child is having. As parent, we do not have time. That is where we are going wrong.
Yes.
And when they become big, parents come to us to school and tell, ma'am, my child doesn't listen to me at all. He's so disobedient. He comes late to home. When I speak to him, he goes to his room and bangs the door. Why this behavior now? Because we have not corrected the children when they are small.
From the beginning, yeah.
From
the
beginning.
foundation.
We must
So,
correct
ma'am,
this.
just to share with you, we are having homeroom period in our online classes also
Yeah,
for
very
10
good.
minutes. Every class teacher has to just a day just say a prayer. Every child is like we designate thought for the day, news, and prayers to 3 children, and it goes roll number wise, so everybody gets a chance. So this is how we work in our
Very good.
homeroom period and imbibe these uh, basic values through this homeroom period in our school.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, because I insist on Facebook because a lot of things are happening, bullying and all
Yes,
happening
ma'am,
there.
definitely.
Because
We have
Facebook
seen.
allows only when you're 18 years old, but children are giving wrong information and getting into that.
Yes,
That is
they are
where we
taking
are having a lot of
screenshots. They are taking
problems.
screenshots, yes,
Yes,
and
yes.
misusing. Yes,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
so true.
Thank you so much for being so participative, and I think that motivated me to speak forward.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I take 1 minute
Please,
to
please.
discuss?
I'm here. Yes, you can ask.
Yeah, this is Agnes. Connecting to our alumni children, I want to add one thing, ma'am, one happy moment. It was Narayanan student. His name is Narayanan. He is in UK now. It was my first school in the year 97, 98. I was just third language Hindi teacher for him, ma'am. So the way we impart value education in our subject, how it had an impact, I'm telling. He got connected with me last year through Facebook and we do chat, yes. And last week he told, ma'am, I need one favor. I was just to put a question, favor from me to you. Then he said, yes, ma'am, I have a habit of contributing to students, those who are not affordable. Can you just give me a contact? Like, and this is how the chat prolonged, and now he has donated a lump sum amount to one of my child, one of my school students. So the way, so this I wanted to share. Kindness that is not shared, it has to be shared.
Yeah. No, it is really right. Ma'am, you have given, that impact that you have created on him is tremendous. That is why, after so many years also, being so far away from you, he could remember you and connect with you.
I never expected this, ma'am. I never expected
this is I think every teacher must aspire to do like you. I think you are a big role model for all of us, in fact.
So I chose one particular student whose parents are so glad. This child, definitely the one who got contribution, he will definitely come up in life and he will educate 2 or 3 students. I'm very sure of it, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
This I wanted to share it in the open platform like this. Teachers, don't give up a very minimum, whatever you think the least quality you have, the good habit, whether others will suspect or laugh at me, don't worry. Keep on doing whatever best seems to you, and definitely you will feel happy.
Definitely. Good. At the end of the day, this is what we want, no? Some child comes and say, thank you, ma'am, for, I remember you as my teacher, and this is how I have an impact. That itself is enough. We don't look for anything more as teachers. I think that will give us the job satisfaction. Very important. So thank you so much, all of you, for being so sportive in responding and making this session very interesting for me as well. Thank you, organizers for IIEM. Yes,
good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
In fact, ma'am, I don't have any query to be asked, but yes, I wanted to express my gratitude. I belong to Jammu and Kashmir, and it's one of the remotest corner I am talking right now from. And thanks to the connectivity right now, at least I'm connected to you people. It is a nice platform. And over here, ma'am, we have a different situation. Like we have to cater to children who are from far off places and even the first generation learners.
Yes.
But I have been attending your sessions also, ma'am, and it has always been, honestly saying, it has always been a force, the driving force that always leads me to do something new and I always try to experiment with my children. And as far as this topic of yours was concerned, the moral values, I definitely believe, ma'am. I have also got so many instances of mine wherein I got a chance to go to one of the airports and I found a student calling my name, Anjali, ma'am. I looked behind because I was not expecting that I'll be having my children over there. And because most of the children are hailing from such an area wherein we have to earn, ma'am, bread and, livelihood. That becomes very difficult over here because the situation you can understand. And most of the time, the net problem is always there as far as the connectivity is concerned. We are always lagging behind as far as these technology is concerned. And this during this COVID-19, ma'am, this is definitely led us to that teething stage we have gone far behind whatever they're used to teach in the government schools. But ma'am, thank you so much. Like, at times as a teacher, I must admit that I really want to give it up. I bang my head like anything. I feel undone. But thank you so much for, being an inspiration to so many teachers like me. I have a lot of respect and love for you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this session.
Pleasure. Which school are you from, Anjali?
Ma'am, I'm from government school, one of the smallest area over here. Thank you, ma'am.
One of my colleagues is there in Jammu, JD Goenka. You can connect with him. His name is Arindam Roy Chowdhury.
Yeah, I know the school also, ma'am.
So you can connect with him, and through that I will connect with you. So we can do some workshop or something. I can do it for you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Right? Yeah. Okay then. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. It's Shajana here. Can I have 2 minutes of yours?
Yeah, perfect.
So, ma'am, actually, I need one of your valuable suggestion for my latest experience with the 5th standard child.
But organizers, you have no problem. No, I am, because I'm taking time. They shouldn't find.
That's
this is a continuous session. Yeah, quickly we'll finish the last one.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I was discussing about prayer with my children. So one of the child raised and she told that, ma'am, you are telling us to pray, but I have never seen rich people praying, but God blesses them. But I have seen poor people praying a lot, but never God looks at them. So I don't believe in God. This is what the answer she gave me. So can you please suggest me how can I approach with this such a scenario?
Yeah. No, what we have to tell him, see, we are praying to God not to make us rich or poor. You tell the children, see, that is depending upon the financial capacity that we have. Now, by praying, we will get peace of mind. We will be contented. We will be able to develop good rapport with the others. We'll be able to get, food for 3 meals, something to make us calm and peaceful. That is required. See, finally, even if you have more money, there is nothing called there will be peace in that house. They may have sleepless nights. But a person who is having enough for him, he may have a sound sleep. That is what is required. So prayer is required for us to remain calm, composed, to be, have helpful nature, to understand other, to be empathetic. And that way, it is not prayer, is not to pray to become rich or poor. You must put that concept in the mind. Rich or poor comes only when we work. You put your hard work, you put your dedication, then you grow with your stature. So these are the two different, you must tell them accordingly.
Sorry, ma'am, intervening in between. May I take the opportunity of requesting your benevolent self kindly to share your mail ID so that I can, always be there to ask for suggestions and advices?
Yeah, yes, I will put my mail ID here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Manila Carvalho, ma'am. It has been so insightful to hear you. It's our immense pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dear participants,
please stay back for the quiz.
We have tuition. A gentle reminder again, all participants kindly fill the attendance sheet. The certificate is auto-generated, so kindly ensure your email ID is correctly entered without any spaces and characters.
Aishwarya, we will not have the quiz now. We'll have it at 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
And Aishwarya, put your number in that this one chat box. I wanted to talk to you.